Here's a little video walkthrough of the back porch framing. I'm making a video for the engineer. I thought I'd share it with everyone else. So here's the back porch. I have the house I'm building for my family. I've used 8x8 Douglas fir posts along here. And when you come to the bit large gable roof, I've got 10x10 posts. One's resting here on the foundation, and the other one is actually resting on top of the ICF concrete wall. And you can see we've also got, these are non-load bearing because there is a truss above there, but we've got some 8x8s going back this way as well too, and they're supported with these half posts here. Same on this side, half post, and I've legged those to the wall with some leg bolts. And over on here, on this column here, this is where the 8x8s intercept with the 10x10 post. Now this is a continuous 10x10 that goes right up through the roof, right up here to the large gable. And I've actually used these 1/4 inch pieces of angle iron with Simpson strong tie legs going through there. And if you look on the inside here, I've got these structural connectors along here, and then the bottom of the posts are actually connected to the concrete foundation using these post saddles. Those are also a Simpson strong tie product. So we've got one there for the 10x10, and there's also one, if you look over here, resting on top of the ICF foundation here. So, I've also used, which I'll have to show after, some 20 inch long RGK screws that actually are coming down from the top of these 8x8 beams through to the columns. So this whole entire place has got about 30 of these things in here throughout the whole entire structure. So moving on to the gable roof framing. If you look up here, I've got an 8x10 coming off the house. So there's a pretty much a beam pocket there. I can show from the inside after. And these are continuous along here. And then there's also an 8x10 way up at the very top acting as the ridge beam. We've got an 8x10 coming across here, and then an 8x8 going up supporting the ridge beam. And then we've got some diagonal ones coming down that are just decorative. Those are 8x8s. And I'll show this connection here. I've actually notched into the, the lintel 2.5 inches to allow this beam just to get more bearing on top of the 10x10 post. One other detail, I've used hurricane ties. Hard to see there, but they're all along that bottom beam on both sides there. And if we come back under this flat roofed area, you can also see I've used hurricane ties all along here as well too, to tie the trusses into the structure. Now I'm inside the building. You can see we're on the inside looking out over the gable roof. I'm going to zoom in here. Here's the upper window. And if you look up here, you'll see I've got a double 11 7/8 LVL, and then there's columns going all the way up supporting that the ridge beam. You can zoom in up here, you can actually see it poking out there. There's the ridge beam right there. And then there's the columns resting on the double 11 7/8 LVL. Now here we are in the garage underneath the bonus room. So one of the details I had the engineer spec out was the steel I-beams. We've got 3 of them here. They're pretty large. So there's this is the largest of the beams right here. This is a W12 at 58. And that's actually supporting the floor system, and then also somewhere in the center there's a column going up supporting the ridge beam for the bonus room. So I'll show you that after, but this is the largest of the beams. It's bearing on concrete on both sides, and it is epoxied into place, or rather we've drilled through it epoxy threaded rod in and then attached the beam and bolted it down that way. So there's also a beam going mid-span. This is strictly just supporting the floor system. I forget the spec on this beam, but I will provide that. So once again, it's resting on concrete here. And then over the garage door, it's coming back and it's resting on top of yet another I-beam that's spanning over this 18-foot garage door. So I'll provide all those beam specs. The engineer spec'd them out. I have them written down. And you can see up here, we've bolted these two together. And then once again, the steel I-beam going across the 18-foot garage door is sitting on foundation and it has been epoxied into place. And I'll have photos that show that as well. So that's the underside of the garage. Look at this. We got our steel I-beams dropped off today. We've already got 2 up and we're about to put up number 3. As soon as Gage gets his poop together. Now going up into the bonus room above the garage. A few details here. So column going down right here all the way down, resting on foundation. Built up wood column going up through here. And going all the way up, supporting our 4-ply 14-inch LVL beam that runs the whole length of the bonus room. And there's the column supporting the other end of the 4-ply 14-inch LVL going down, and that's resting on that large steel I-beam that we just saw underneath in the garage. So this beam has been bolted together. Every 16 inches we have a bolt near the top and a bolt near the bottom. Bolt near the top, bolt into the bottom, near the bottom. And then all of the rafters coming off have been attached with hangers. So just so you can see all the bolts. It's quite the large job. And so that's that detail right there. One thing I forgot to mention here in the garage, if you look up here, you're going to see the blocking that we put in between the floor system here to transfer the load from the column supporting the ridge beam for the bonus room. So there's a blocking in the floor system. And lastly, here's the front porch. This one's pretty straightforward. We have beam pockets in the ICF walls, and we have 8x8 columns, same as the back porch. They're sitting in post saddles, okay, and they're bolted down from the top with those RGK screws. There's the other post saddle and beam pocket. Okay, and then we just have rafters going back, ledger plate leg to the wall, and we've used hurricane ties with our ceiling joists, hurricane ties to our rafters.